everybody. Welcome to our next episode of Talk the Things podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about a crazy story because this one actually happened last year. But just about 2 days ago, I seen Six Balls made a post about it, and it became Toronto's youngest ever murder case. In the history of Toronto, there's never been one these people these young that were involved, and it has a 13-year-old boy who's 12 at the time, and there was a 12-year-old girl. And this situation happened in Scarborough. So I want to go over all the facts that we have of the case. I want to play you guys a news clip, come back at the end with what the city is saying about it. You already know how we do these type of videos. So let's go from the top. On September 5th, 2023, around 6:30 p.m., a building in the Glamorgan area. It's on Dundalk Drive. If you know Glamorgan, you know that's at Kennedy and 401. Residents heard a young girl screaming. So they're like, what the hell? And this happened on the 8th floor. And they can hear the screaming getting like loud. Like it sounded like some serious screaming, not like playing. You know, like when kids play? This didn't sound like that. This sounded like somebody was in like some type of problem. So the superintendent even wound up getting phone calls because people on the floor were calling the super like, yo, something's happening in this apartment. We need you guys to come up here. So they wind up going up there, the superintendent lady. But once she got there, the door was locked. And I thought supers have like a master key. That was one of the first things that came to my head is don't they have a key for every apartment? Because when I got locked out one time, mommy was at work. I had no key. I had to show the lady ID and she had a key for my apartment. So she said she went and the door was locked and she couldn't get in. But I thought they had a key anyway. They winded up calling the police because it was just getting terrible. Like nobody's answering the door. Everybody in the house is screaming. There wasn't just two people. There was more people in the house. And we're going to get into that later. But when emergency crews and stuff reached, they ended up finding a 12-year-old girl that was choked to death. And when I say joke, you know what I mean already. I don't want to say the word, but you guys are going to hear it in the news clip. I just don't want, you know how YouTube is already. So she got choked to death and was pronounced dead at the scene. But what it gets crazier, because they ended up going through the apartment and stuff and seeing a 12-year-old boy dangling from the balcony. The man's like hanging on, swinging from the balcony. We don't know if he was trying to off himself, what he was trying to do. But then they realized that that person that was dangling off of the balcony, the 12-year-old boy, was the victim's cousin. And it's him that did the stabbing. So you could imagine that shock when they're hearing, well, not really, they're trained for that, but I'm still sure that they were shocked to find out whatever it was. So they took him down from off of the balcony, brought him to the hospital. He had a couple injuries. He never jumped off of the balcony or nothing like that. But I think they were fighting to where he had some injuries, and then they brought him to jail after. So I want to play you guys this news clip, make you guys listen this, and I'm going to be right back.
A 12-year-old girl is dead after a violent incident inside this high-rise in the Kennedy and 401 area. It all happened up here on the 8th floor just before 6:30 last night. A suspect has been arrested for murder. The accused is a 12-year-old boy.
Amy, police, call police, call police, call police. So that's I call police.
What would he say?
The building superintendent recounts the frantic moments after getting a panicked call from a resident sounding desperate for help.
I'm thinking maybe the kids fighting. So that's why I go up, and then but when I go to there, the door cannot open.
Amy Lee tells City News she heard noise and yelling coming from the unit and then quickly realized there was also commotion outside the building.
I saw the boy sitting outside the balcony.
Many residents witnessed a boy dangling from the balcony. He was eventually pulled to safety by firefighters, but inside a sad and tragic scene. A 12-year-old girl, the victim of a stabbing, suffered critical injuries and did not survive.
Life-saving efforts were administered, but were ultimately unsuccessful, and the youth was declared deceased at the scene. At this point in the investigation, as I mentioned, it's quite early still. But we believe this is an isolated incident, and there's not an ongoing threat at this point that we can identify.
The boy from the balcony, also just 12 years old, was taken into custody and is now facing a charge of second-degree murder. According to the superintendent, a mother and 5 kids live inside the unit, and neighbors tell us some children were home when the attack happened.
I just saw a lady and her kid protected by police right outside our floor here.
At this point, the relationship between the young victim and the suspect is still unknown.
The mother's very nice, very nice family. The kids are the same, very nice. Yeah, it's a nice family. My feeling, I feel sad. Okay, I feel sad. It's very sad.
Now, a motive for the attack is still under investigation. Police did spend the afternoon canvassing the building looking for witnesses. I can tell you that the 12-year-old boy did briefly appear in court this morning, but because of his age under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, he cannot be identified. In Scarborough, Shauna Hunt, City News.
All right, you guys just heard that news clip. So now what happened was, like I said, on Six Buzz, I seen a post come. I think it was yesterday, the day before, they made a post saying that he pled guilty and it was making it Toronto's youngest murder case ever. So that's so it's a thing for history, bro. Then once again, something that's the biggest ever in Toronto history is in Scarborough. Again, remember I did a video on the biggest mass shooting in Toronto history. That was in Scarborough. But Scarborough's still not worse than the West. And go watch my last video if you want to hear about that. I still don't think Scarborough's worse than the West. These are just stuff that happens sometimes. It happens everywhere. But the people's thoughts around the city was the first one I heard a lot of people saying was, what could have made him do this? A lot of people, some people were saying it was spiritual and all type of stuff. And I don't like to really get into allegation because these people have parents and their family's still around and local people and they can see what going on and what people are seeing. So it's not really nice to speculate too much, but people are going to be interested. Like, what the hell? What could have caused him to do such a thing? And next thing was that if you heard the news, they were saying that there was other people in the house, other siblings, I believe siblings of the one that got joke. So not the cousin, but the one that got joke, the girl. So people were saying, like, did the siblings them not get involved? Were they all fighting? Was this one big fight? Like, what could have caused them to be fighting like this? Remember, they're only both 12. So there's not much that could be happening in the local life for them to be fighting like that. And the next thing a lot of people were saying was not to judge again, but where was the parents? It was only 6:30 p.m. They're 12 and they're old enough to stay home by themselves. You know what I mean? It's not that crazy, but that's the next thing a lot of people were asking. But the next thing that I was asking was, what the fuck is wrong with Glamorgan, bro? Just 2 months after this, a lady killed two of her kids, and I want to know. You guys let me know if I should do a video on that. I don't even like to do those videos too much because, bro, it can get heavy on your mind. But a lady, like a couple buildings down, kill her two kids, them. So we don't know what going on over there. If there's something, I don't know. You guys let me know if I should do a video on that. But you guys let me know your thoughts on this situation. Let me know how you feel about it. Do you think, like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. All we could say is rest in peace to the 12-year-old girl. The youth's still young that's in jail now, so they don't have nothing on him. You guys let me know what you think about the situation, and we will talk next time on Talk the Things podcast.
Pretty little Barbie, got the body of a goddess.